I left a cabin trip early instead of sharing a bed with a stranger. So my friend Marissa started dating this guy, Tyler, about 3 months ago. Ever since then, she's been in that phase where she thinks everything he does is so spontaneous and literally out of a movie, which is cute in theory, but exhausting in real life. She calls me on a Tuesday night like, "We're going to this lake cabin this weekend with Tyler's friends. You have to come. It'll be so fun." I ask the obvious question, "Who's going?" She lists off Tyler, 2 of his college friends, 1 of their girlfriends, and maybe another guy who might show up. I don't know any of these people, not even a little. I tell her I'll pass. She pouts, says I never do anything anymore, says I'm being antisocial, says she doesn't want to be the only girl besides that one girlfriend who's kind of weird. After 2 days of guilt texts and "it won't be the same without you," I cave. I tell myself it's one night. How bad could it be? Saturday comes. Tyler pulls up in this SUV already packed to the roof. I open the back and see coolers, duffel bags, folding chairs. I ask, "Where am I sitting?" Tyler laughs and says, "Oh, we'll figure it out." That should have been my warning. We start driving, and about 10 minutes in, Marissa casually goes, "Oh yeah, by the way, there are only 2 bedrooms at the cabin." I turn slowly. 2? She nods. 1 for Tyler and me, 1 for Kevin and Jess. But there's a big sectional couch and an air mattress. And I think Ryan said he doesn't mind sharing. Sharing. With who? I ask. She smiles like I'm being silly. "You and Ryan could split the air mattress. He's nice." I have never met Ryan. I look at this man in the passenger seat. He gives me a thumbs up in the rearview mirror like we've just agreed to something. I say, "I'm not sharing a bed with a guy I just met." Tyler shrugs. "It's just sleeping." Marissa squeezes my hand. "Don't make it weird." We're already an hour into the 2-hour drive at this point, so I just stare out the window and try to convince myself it'll somehow work out differently when we get there. It doesn't. The cabin is cute. I'll give them that. Lake view, little dock, string lights on the porch. For about 15 minutes, I almost forget the sleeping situation. Then Kevin starts blowing up the 1 air mattress and goes, "All right, who's bunking together?" Everyone looks at me. Ryan goes, "I don't snore." I say, "That's great, I'm still not doing that." Marissa pulls me into the kitchen and whispers, "You're overreacting. It's one night." I whisper back, "I don't even know him. I'm not sleeping shoulder to shoulder with a stranger because you didn't plan enough beds." She rolls her eyes. "You're being dramatic." So I say, "Cool, then I'll take the couch." Except the big sectional is basically 2 cushions pushed together and already covered in someone's backpack and a pile of wet towels. That night, they start drinking. Music gets louder. Tyler and Marissa disappear into their room. Kevin and Jess are making out on the dock. Ryan keeps trying to sit next to me and make small talk about crypto. By midnight, I'm exhausted. I go inside and see the air mattress already set up in the living room. 1 pillow, 1 blanket. Ryan walks in behind me and goes, "Guess it's bedtime." I just stand there for a second. I can feel that trapped feeling creeping in. 2 hours from home. No car. Everyone assuming I'll just deal with it. So I grab my phone. Ryan goes, "What are you doing?" "Looking at rides," I say. He laughs like I'm joking. "At midnight? Out here?" I ignore him and check. There's an Uber about 20 minutes away. Expensive, but available. Marissa comes out when she hears us talking. "Wait, you're not actually leaving." I show her my screen. "I'm not sharing a bed with someone I met 6 hours ago." She throws her hands up. "You're embarrassing me. Tyler's going to think you hate his friends." I say, "I don't hate them. I just like personal space." She goes, "It's just sleeping." And I say, "Exactly, which is why I'd like to do it comfortably." The Uber pulls up earlier than expected. Headlights wash across the cabin windows. I grab my bag. Marissa's standing there with her arms crossed. "You're seriously going to make a big scene?" I look around. Kevin's half asleep on the dock chair. Jess doesn't care. Ryan looks annoyed. Tyler doesn't even come out of the bedroom. I say, "If not sharing a bed with a stranger is a big scene, that's not really on me." And I walk out. The driver looks surprised to see someone standing alone in the dark with a duffel bag. He goes, "Leaving early?" I say, "Very." The ride home is quiet, except for the hum of the road. No loud music, no awkward small talk, no negotiating where my body is allowed to exist. I get home at almost 3 a.m., shower, and crawl into my own bed. King-sized, empty, perfect, empty. The next morning, Marissa texts me a paragraph about how I made things awkward, and how Ryan thought I was rude, and how Tyler said I could have just been chill. I don't respond. Because if being chill means ignoring my own comfort so other people don't have to think ahead, I'm good. Somehow I slept great that night. A few months after the cabin trip, I should have known better than to accept another invitation from Marissa. But time has a way of softening things. We'd gone back to normal-ish. She stopped bringing up the air mattress incident, and I stopped bringing up the fact that she tried to guilt me into sharing one. We were in that unspoken truce phase. So when she texted me, "Double date tonight, don't bail, I already told them you're coming," I stared at my phone for a full minute before replying. I should have said no. Instead, I asked, "Who's them?" She responded with, "Tyler, obviously, and his coworker Aaron. He's cute, you'll like him." That should have been enough information for me to decline. I don't like being pre-assigned to men like I'm a placeholder, but she kept sending voice notes about how this would be redemption after the cabin, and how Aaron was normal, not like Ryan. The bar was apparently on the floor. I agreed. on the condition that we drive separately. She laughed and said I was traumatized. I said I was prepared. Friday night, I meet them at this rooftop bar downtown. Marissa and Tyler are already there, sitting way too close in one of those curved booth seats. Aaron is standing when I walk up, which I appreciate. He seems polite enough. We do introductions, order drinks, make small talk. For the first 20 minutes, it's actually fine. Aaron works in finance. He asks me about my job. He doesn't interrupt me. I think, okay, maybe this will be normal. Then Tyler orders a round of shots for the table without asking anyone. Marissa cheers like we just won something. I say I'll pass because I drove. Tyler goes, come on, live a little. I smile and repeat, I'm good. Aaron nudges the shot glass toward me and says, I can drive you home. I laugh, thinking he's joking. He's not. I'm fine, I say. I brought my car. Marissa gives me that look, the one that says don't make it weird. I ignore it. The night goes on. They order more drinks. I switch to water after my first cocktail because someone in this group needs to be able to stand upright later. Tyler starts talking about going to an after party at his friend's apartment across town. Marissa immediately says yes. Then she turns to me. We'll all just ride together. I say, I'm not going to an after party. She frowns. It's early. It's 11:30 p.m. I've learned that it's early is code for this will spiral. Aaron leans closer and says, you're not going to ditch me, are you? There's that subtle pressure again, framed like a joke, but not really. I tell him I'm heading out soon. He sighs dramatically and says, wow, tough crowd. Marissa pulls me toward the bathroom hallway like she's about to stage an intervention. Why are you being like this again? She whispers. I blink at her. Like what? Guarded, defensive, it's just a fun night. I remind her that the last fun night ended with me calling a rideshare from a dock at midnight because there weren't enough beds. She groans. We said we weren't bringing that up. We didn't, I say. You decided that. She tells me Aaron thinks I don't like him. I say I met him 2 hours ago. I don't have an opinion yet. She says I'm too rigid. I say I just don't like being maneuvered. We go back to the table and Tyler announces the after-party plan again. Aaron stands and grabs his jacket. Let's go. I stay seated. I'm heading home. There's that pause. The one where everyone waits to see if I'll fold. Marissa's smile tightens. Seriously? I nod. Yeah, I have an early morning. I don't. But I also don't owe anyone my actual reason, which is that I don't want to end up stranded somewhere at 2 a.m. again. Aaron says, I thought this was a double date. I shrug. It was dinner. Tyler laughs awkwardly. Marissa looks mortified, like I just insulted royalty. I stand up, grab my purse, and say goodbye like a normal person. No scene, no speech, just have fun. As I'm walking toward the elevator, I hear Marissa call my name. I turn. She hurries over, heels clicking. You're doing it again, she says. Doing what? Making me look bad. I stare at her for a second because that's the part that always gets me. Not my comfort, not my safety, not whether I'm having a good time, just how it reflects on her. If me going home makes you look bad, I say calmly, that's not something I can fix. She says I'm overthinking everything, that not every situation is a trap, that sometimes people just want to have fun. I tell her fun shouldn't require convincing someone to ignore their boundaries. The elevator dings. I step inside. She doesn't follow. The ride down is quiet. When I get to my car, I sit there for a minute with my hands on the steering wheel. No racing heart, no trapped feeling, just calm. I drive home, wash my face, and change into sweatpants. Around 1:30 a.m., my phone buzzes. A text from Marissa. You left us stranded because Aaron didn't want to drive after drinking. I read that twice. Then I type back, I told you I wasn't going to the after party. She responds with, you're impossible sometimes. I don't argue. I don't defend myself. I just set my phone face down on the nightstand. A few months ago, I felt guilty for leaving that cabin. Tonight, I don't. If protecting my own space keeps ruining the vibe, maybe the vibe just isn't for me. And honestly, I slept great again. The next day, my phone is blowing up, mostly Marissa. You were so rude last night. Aaron thinks you hate him. You ruined the vibe. And of course, you're impossible sometimes. I scroll past it, ignoring her. One message from Tyler stops me. A blurry shot of Aaron laughing, holding hands with some girl at the after party. My first thought, he found someone else immediately. Not that it matters, but it's validating. By noon, Marissa is still rationalizing. He was just playful. You're overthinking. Around mid-afternoon, group chat updates flood in. Pictures of pancakes, waffles, mimosas. Aaron's in a selfie, smiling at the new girl. I reply, nice. That night, Marissa texts, he keeps talking about you. So mysterious. I resist replying, order Thai food for one, and binge-watch Netflix. Aaron didn't need me. He found someone else instantly. I didn't have to stay. Chaos isn't mine to fix, and leaving early feels deliciously satisfying.